Okay, guys, welcome back. We are in for another awesome game, second game of the evening. We are super excited. We have our tonight's reigning champions, the UnImpactful Gamers. Never going to be able to say that name right. And we have the Western Sydney Wyverns Black coming in onto the Rift looking to win out tonight's prize. Guys, we're super excited. I believe the picks and bans has just started. So let's jump straight into this one and let's see what these teams want to take off the board. We got some, we're keen to see what these champions actually are bringing out. I'm liking the Scion ban, Lethality Scion Tate. Always been an interesting one to verse, especially with the Hull Breaker. Any comments on that?
Well, I mean, we've seen the Bouse, obviously. We've all seen the Bouse in
Mm,
Korea going 0 and
mm.
18 and somehow still winning. I don't know if you knew this, but the Bouse actually recently got his account locked because of suspicious activity in Korea. So I believe there is a bit of a halt in his sort of reign of madness in solo queue.
Ooh, okay. Didn't know about that. Not sure if we're allowed to comment on that, but look, we might later on, but that's okay. I think let's let's focus on Elo right now. Poor Bouse, but also don't be shady.
Don't
Um,
be shady. Yes, that's correct.
so we're seeing some interesting bands coming out here. We did quickly mention the Sign, which I think is a smart band just in general. Low Elo is always full of crazy picks and all that sort of stuff. But we see the Zac and the Malzahar really showing some respect to our good friend Envious in this mid lane. We do see that his Malzahar is pretty well sought after. He's very good with his champion. But we got Volibear, Ari, and Anivia being picked up in the band's phase 2. How do you feel about these? I can understand the Volibear and the Ari. I feel like the Anivia ban's a little bit of a dig at someone. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, so UnImpactful Gamers, they've sort of switched up how they're going to ban. I believe the Volley Bear is a target ban. And Ari's just maybe it is a target ban. I assume it's because they just don't want to deal with the Ari. Again, because she is very strong. And Anivia, yeah, possibly a dig at Pliz I never played
Yeah.
with the Anivia. She is a very frustrating champion to deal with,
Mm,
especially with her W and her zone
mm,
control rather, with her ultimate. And if you're a good Anivia player, then you are probably one of the most frustrating players to deal with.
yep.
Now, we also see a Nautilus pick from Unimpactful Gamers. They did give the Nautilus away last game,
Yeah.
but this time opting to pick it, and we do see the Tahm Kench yet again,
Mm,
in response to, I assume, the Ornn, and obviously we saw Metal playing that champion
mm,
absolutely perfectly, just tanking team fights, healing more than his enemies could do damage to him. Solid frontliner. On the other side, we also have the Western Sydney Wyverns responding with a Rel pick. That's a really
mm.
interesting pick. I mean, when's the last time you've seen a Rel in your games?
Well, actually, like 2 days ago.
Oh,
Not long
okay.
ago. Like Rel actually really underappreciated. I'm pretty sure. Like very strong team fight capabilities. Imagine a big Forge Iron God coming in, being rammed down through the lane, and then you have a Rel jumping on top of you. Like that is going to be no fun for anyone. And then you chuck in a Diana Moon Crescent fall onto that as well. Damn, that's some CC. You're going to be locked down for a while. And I personally wouldn't want to fight that. But I can see they have popped the Trundle in there just to try and help counteract that, I think, a little bit. Popping a pillar in the mix is going to really help. But we're seeing some good picks and bans. But I do want to say that Tom Kench, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He played awesome last game. Metal, like you said, did an awesome job. They're going back for it. They know it's working. They stick to it. And I do respect that. We do see some more bans coming out. I like the Jinx ban. I think that's really smart, but I'm not sure why you take it away from your own team. Arguably, it is stronger on blue side, but its impact in game regardless is huge. But we do see the Victor and the Lucian being picked up as AD carries are yet to be picked. So I like that they're targeting this and saying we're not going to give you any carries. We want to see how these tanks do.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned tanks because so far we have the top jungle and support picks as we see a Cogmore hover, but yeah, up until this
Oh,
point we see a lot of chonky people, the chonky boys, being picked. So basically what they're saying here is we're going to out tank you as much as possible, and we're going to win the fight through sustain because we have
All
tanks,
right.
because we have CC. And okay, a Cogmore is going to be picked. Okay, so he really wants to get that sort of mid to late game spike and just shred through these tanks as much as possible. But if the Diana is obviously able to get access to the Cogmore, it will be huge.
Mm.
They do have a Nautilus to sort of counteract that, and obviously the Tahm Kench we saw last game, an absolute menace when he's up against 5 enemy players. So really interesting to see how they pilot these tanks.
Yeah, I'm just admiring these AD carry picks. I'm liking the Cogmore, but I'm unsure about the Ezreal. We know Ezreal is a really strong, can be a very hyper carry champ if he's put in the right shoes. But we just need to see how Team Liquid. Really hard to say that when it is just a champion, it's just a player in the game. Let's see if he can pilot it well. We need to see if he can land those Qs, if he can get a good barrage off. I'm keen to see how that works. But the Silas also being picked up, they took away his mouse. He opted not to go Yone, which I think is a smart. I feel like they needed a little bit more AP in their team comp, and Silas is a perfect pick. Imagine a Silas taking any one of these ultis, he's going to be doing a bucket load of damage. If he takes that Lissandra Ice Tomb, he's just going to be laughing his way into 2 Zonyas the same as her, and there's going to have that survivability. The healing on Silas as well is absolutely massive with that W, so I'm really keen to see how he plays this lane phase, considering he is at a slight disadvantage. But again, if this Diana gets on top of this Silas, good night, Irene. We're not going to see you for a little bit. But again, Ezreal Cogmore, who do you think favors that matchup, Tate?
Well, if it was a straight 1v1, I would actually say Ezreal.
Mm,
Kog'Maw obviously has very powerful auto attacks. He's a very strong ADC when left to his own devices, free hitting the front line from the safety of his massive range with his
mm,
W. But in a straight 1v1 fight, I would actually go as far to say that Ezreal uh quite frankly stomps on Kog'Maw if he's able to hit these mystic shots. Obviously, him
mm,
hitting the mystic shots is a factor that we have to consider.
mm-hmm,
But I feel that this bot lane will be the point of contention for both these teams because Ezreal is just one of those champions that absolutely cannot get behind. His mystic shots are so important to team fights when he does lay the poke down. And if he is behind, then he's not going to do any damage with his mystic shots. And against a
mm,
Tahm Kench, against a Nautilus, against a Trundle, if you're not doing damage to these guys, then you've completely just screwed yourself with the Ezreal pick. I am a bit surprised at the Rel pick because they did pick it in response to the Nautilus. If Rel in the middle of her jump animation, the W, in order to obviously engage,
mm.
is interrupted by a Nautilus hook, then she is just a sitting duck for the next, say, 10 seconds. I'm not too sure about the cooldown of her W after
Yeah,
she dismounts.
yeah. No, I do agree. But that is also very much like you got to be looking for that. This all comes down to positioning. Rel obviously wants to be walking up and trying to get some damage off, but I feel like Cogmore has a little bit more, I guess, sustainability if Ezreal can't hit those Qs. And again, Iron to Plat, you never know. Cogmore has a little bit more fun in regards to just standard AoE. He throws out the sludge, he's just going to be playing around that, and they're just not going to be able to do much to him. The silence is going to be really powerful, and I just want to see how this bot lane can play it out. But guys, we are going to go to an intermission, so stay tuned for game number 2, Wyverns versus the UnImpactful Gamers. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the second game of ELOceania. We are looking at some fierce team members, reigning team so far, looking for that second win, hoping to go to the finals, make sure that they're up to snuff, but we got some fantastic team comps. Tate, what are you keen to see? I've got a lot of things I could talk about, but I want to hear what you're excited for.
I don't even know what to expect, and that's the best part. I mean, with these predictions, you can go on and on about champion lanes and lane states, wave management, power spikes, but at the end of the day, I've learned today that it really doesn't matter. All of that would've, could've, should've gets thrown out the window with these guys, and I absolutely love it. It's so unpredictable, and it's so entertaining to watch. And if our first game was an indicator of the things to come, then I'd say we have quite a banger of a game waiting for us as well, as we did see UnImpactful gamers, it's going to be really hard to say that. UnImpactful gamers, they did make a move to possibly invade, but they did show on the tower vision, so that invade didn't quite work out, but you could see that they were trying to make it work out.
A lot of damage already being dealt out. I think I'm keen to see this Diana Trundle. I believe Diana is quite a strong matchup into Trundle, if I recall, purely because she has those strong dashes, gets that reset, can dash again. But Trundle just being a mega tank, I'm just keen to see him in the late game just punching out some towers. So I'm keen to see where this goes in the mid to late game, but I want to see Diana have some good impact early. I feel like Trundle just wants to get his jungle cams out and about, but it looks like Ornn wants to go for the level 1 fight, misses the Bramble, just wants to auto attack him down, but again, good pressure.
I mean, I'm looking at this Trundle and I'm thinking, okay, you're gonna have to pillar some of these people. You're gonna have to put them between a rock and a hard place. Or in this case, an ice and a hard place. Haha, see what I did there. But yeah, Trundle, obviously, his ganking power is quite powerful actually, as we see some movement toward the mid lane. Maybe something's gonna come out of it. Lissandra does have her claw as, okay.
He does want to go in now. There goes the field, but no, it's just Lissandra though. She does have her strong escape. It's hard to gank such a mobile lane. Unless Sylas gets the absolute lockdown, there's not much you can really do into this lane. Sylas needs to have that initiation, and then Trundle has to come in off the back of it. And sadly, didn't pull it off this one time. But
yeah, that's just one of the weaknesses of Trundle ganks. You know, he is a very powerful ganker if he uses his pillar properly, but his laners have to enable him for that, and unfortunately, that time we could see that it did not work out. Diana, on the other hand, isn't actually as team reliant with her gank. So yes, I do agree with your point that Diana is a bit more powerful than Trundle in terms of ganking power, but I would like to see this game go to the mid game and this Trundle, who is lethal tempo by the way, to really take over the game by slapping people. Because I mean, how many times have you seen a Trundle jungle just as, okay?
Oh, good hook coming in. Actual Minotaur wanting this fight. Rel having to use the horsey to get out of there. But damn, what a big fight. Trundle was here for that one, but sadly didn't get the pillar up in time. It just a little bit too late, but Diana's actually in this top side. Looks like Ornn wants to come in. Big shield coming out. Metal able to walk out of this alive. Maybe get some damage off the back, but good double-sided ganks coming from both teams. One top side, one bot side. Sad to see that there was no kills.
I mean, after all the kills that were coming out last game, I must admit I'm a bit disappointed that nothing happened there. But yeah, really nice response gank from Diana, countering on the top side when her bot side was being attacked by the Trundle. So now they'll actually switch sides, and each jungler should know that the other is on the other side of the map. So we'll see if they're able to transition this knowledge into a much more powerful gank. Diana is on the bot side, and Ezreal Rel, technically they should have priority with the Ezreal Q, but obviously Kog'Maw with his range and just straight up damage from his E, the little pool that he provides on the ground, it is proving difficult for Ezreal to get the priority that he wants.
So I just had to have a bit of a sensible chuckle at the disrespect that Metal did to this Ornn, denying him the ability to build anything 3 times. You hate to see it as an Ornn. You want to be building items as soon as you get the gold for it, and it's just unfortunate. But you're very right. I feel like Cogmore getting a little bit of a cheater's recall, not a proper cheater's recall, I might add, but getting something, coming back with a Noon Quiver, really going to help out. But we do see a bit of a fight coming in the mid lane. Good little dashboard, but looks like Envious of Me does pick up the Ice Tomb. But there it goes. Trundle's
very nice
into this fight too. He survives the fight, getting out alive. That is crucial in a 2v1 situation. Taking that ulti just as he hits level 6 was beautiful. You don't see that too often, and it was really nice to see. But there's the flash forward. He wants to go for it. Ignite goes down. He's actually going to die to the tower. Liz gets the first blood. He overcommitted, and it's just devastating to see. Oh my lord. That's rough, man. Poor Sylas, overcommitting, but there looks to be another fight coming down to this dragon pit. Looks like it is the first Hectech Soul, but looks like oh, there's the big engage. Minotaur wants to take out Rel. Colate actually picking up the kill. Exhaust goes down.
Lethal tempo.
And this is the lethal tempo. Trundle coming in. Forge God is called topside. He wants to get the heal. And there it is.
Wow.
Beautifully played by Ornn. They get the dragon on red team, but Ornn takes the solo kill. And it's just all over Red Rover. Poor Metal just comes away with the bronze.
No items, no problem. Ninja Fighter really showing that even though he wasn't able to utilize the Ornn passive, he says, I'm still able to kill you because I'm an Ornn.
Right.
Yeah, Ornn is quite a powerful tank that does a lot of damage. I have to give props to 404 Killer though. Waiting for the Sylas 6 timing to sort of gank Envious of Me, because really a lot of people sort of try to take advantage of their level 6, obviously, because it's a whole nother ability and it probably does a bunch of damage as well. But really taking advantage of the fact that Envious would have wanted to get on top of Pliz I never played. Oh, that's really fun to say in team fights. Yeah, just really nice mind games that unfortunately didn't work out because Dragonson was actually right nearby, ready to counter gank, and obviously Envious of Me did end up dying to a bit of a botched dive, but honestly, I really like the idea that the Diana had, and I am really looking forward to what this guy is going to do in team fights as.
Bit of a botch dive is a little bit of an understatement in my opinion, but look, there's the engage coming in. Metal actually saying, you might have killed me, but I'm going to take your Diana for free. Bit of a weird Trundle pillar and not enabling the good hook, but looks like they're taking his kill. The Moonfall comes down. Looks like Diana wants to take the by storm, but looks like Metal can actually do the Diana actually picking up the double kill, and a barrage from downtown actually securing the Cogmore in a solo lane is going to set this Cogmore even further behind, but that Diana coming back clutch with a double, sacrificing her life was massive for this blue side.
Feels like they just hand shook a couple of fights on the other side of the map, like, hey, we're gonna fight on the top side, you guys should fight bot side. And we see that very differing results. Obviously, the Cogmore and Nautilus were taken down by the Rel and Ezreal. Rel actually not having to use ultimate, she does still have it up, so yeah. I wasn't actually paying attention, if I'm completely honest with you. I was too busy looking at the dive as
Ornn wants to go in for this again. Good Devour actually disenabling the Forge God, but Ornn's saying, hey, that's cool, man. I'm going to keep going. But saving himself. Metal playing that just right. Lining up those stacks just to stay alive. Beautifully played.
yeah, so I assume that Rel and Ezreal with that level 6, they were emboldened to go in, like, hey, we have level 6, we can go in. But Rel didn't use ulti, which sort of tells me that they played that fight quite well, if Rel having ulti is any indicator of that. As, yeah, we see a Trundle here. I'm a bit weirded out by this particular one. He is wasting a lot of time.
No, I kind of like it though. This is the real aggression. He's going to sort of try and bait them back. They're going to look for the fight. He's saying, hey, chase me, chase me. Sylas is also coming down, but he's spotted out on a ward. This is the problem. Sylas is like, hey, that's cool. I can chill here. But Trundle hasn't been spotted yet. He's dedicating to this fight immensely. And you can even see Minotaur wants them to go in for this fight. Team Liquid playing it slow. They know, look, it's not worth taking the fight. We can just play under tower. But still, I like this tactic. It's a shame it didn't work.
That's actually quite crucial because as a jungler, timing is everything, and unfortunately, Dragonson got nothing out of that particular exchange. I'm not too sure what the sort of mindset there was. I mean, it is a Rel and it is an Ezreal. You do have the lockdown CC with the Nautilus, but I just don't see that play working out. Typically, when you're a jungler, you want to sort of adhere to certain sort of criteria, should I call them, for ganking. Typically, if you don't have, say, more than a 50% chance of this gank succeeding, then you generally shouldn't go for it because time is huge. And we see that with that time advantage that the Diana got on the top side with the Herald, they do put it down in mid. And yeah, Dragonson just behind on every play, unfortunately, because of that one single bot play that really didn't work out. So a bit unfortunate there. We'll see if he's able to recover from it, though.
And looks like Metal in a bit of a sticky situation, not getting enough tongue action to keep himself alive potentially, but Metal just trying to keep it going, but this Ornn is doing some serious damage, and hopefully that grey health will keep him alive, but still some nasty trades there. And you got to wonder who wins in this top fight, Tate? Is it the Ornn or is it the Tarm?
Well, if he gets enough tonguing action, as you so eloquently put, perhaps the Tarm does have an advantage. We did see
another big fight. Devour could put him underneath the tower here too. He flashes out instantly, gets the knockup. Forge God's coming down. He does not have the Devour, but he got the stun. There's the shields. He could actually do this. One more lick should do it. All the tongue action, one desires, and he picks up the solo kill. The outplay on Ornn is massive. Ladies and gentlemen.
I was about to make a point that it's much harder to mess up on Tahm Kench than it is to mess up on Ornn. Obviously, we saw there that the Call of the Forge God was cancelled again for... I can't even remember how many times it's been cancelled by this Tahm Kench. Twice. Yeah, well, I mean, you must be frustrated if you're a Ninja Fighter right now because that's twice that you've been denied a solo kill on Metal because Tahm Kench is just that... Well, I wouldn't say broken, but his grey health definitely helped him out there during those trades.
He's a pain in my you-know-where. That's what.
We all know.
But no, that's true. Ornn, just being the champion, he needs to land everything. He needs that wombo combo. Having a CC champion denying the wombo combo is enough to stifle an Ornn getting the all-in on you. So the fact that this Tarm knows how to play into that matchup is exceptional. Not often seen in the low elo shenanigans. But you can see Minotaur actually caught a big flash coming in. Silence goes down. He flashes right into the glacial. There's also please never a play, but looks like they're going to give it over to Ezreal. One more auto attack should do. And Team Liquid picking up a big fight, but Ornn now being caught out. There goes the Bellows Breath, but it's not enough. There's a Trundle just doing what he can, getting the damage off, and Dragonson picking up his kill with the Divine Sunderer, which is honestly his power spike.
Unfortunate from Collat there, flashing into the...
Okay. So they want to keep going. They have the damage. This poor Diana just dying. That was bad. Don't judge me on that, guys. We won't worry about that. But look, Dragonson getting out just alive. Red buff keeping him going there. But Diana sadly just getting absolutely tower dove by these two tanky champions.
Yeah, so now we're getting to the point where Trundle is extremely tanky and still does a lot of damage thanks to his Sunderer. I would wager that if these two were to meet inside the jungle 1v1, Trundle would 100% win, obviously because of his lethal tempo, but also because of his Q chomp. Now, Diana's not an AD champion, but it still doesn't hurt to weave in those auto attacks as a jungler.
Ooh. Oh, envious of me, stealing the tomb, trying to stay alive, but there he does get the flash out. But nicely played. Look, envious of me looked at never played and actually said, you have no mana. I'll take this fight. I'm cool with this. Sadly, not getting the successful solo kill. but sort of taking him off the board for as long as he can is really nice. But we see another fight coming down here in this bot lane. Colate throwing out a nice little silence, stopping 404 killer. Good hook comes down. Minotaur wants to turn this fight, but Diana says, no, I'm going to take straight into this Cosmore. Moonfall does come down, might be able to pick up the secured kill. Yes, Cosmore using his little silence of death, just actually walking up. But Trundle, this lethal tempo is dirty. Minotaur just doesn't even care, and they're just going to keep walking at him. Look at this damage to this Trundle. He's massive. There's the flash forward shutdown going over, and this Trundle's having huge impact. 6-1 and 3. And it looks like he does want to get the solo kill one more time. Looks like Ninja does take a big chunk of damage. Forge God is coming down. Can he get the silence? No, the Devour was just short, but the tankiness is too much. The Frostfire doing its job, and massive plays across the map, and this is what we wanted to see. These are the shenanigans we're after, and Tate is living up to expectation.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I did berate Dragonson a bit for wasting time in that bot lane, but making up for it with these ganks. The counter gank was quite late, I will say. I expected 4-4 killer to really finish off Nautilus and
boy, okay. Silas doing damage. There's the Zonias. It might not be enough as he does pick up the kill, and Miz tries to go back in, but look at all those artilleries coming down. Cogmore, right place, right time. But wow, incredible fights. And Shadow's near here saying, I'm not going to give you this tower, but Trundle's waiting in the wings, and he says, I don't care who you are, horsey robot lady or not, I'll probably want to come for this.
And I think they are gonna get it. Yeah, there's nothing that a Rel can do all on a lonesome. And you can see what Envious was trying to do there when he started walking back in. It did look a little bit troll to walk in on the Diana, but he was in the middle of his Kingslayer animation, so I assume he wanted a bit of healing because he was quite low. But honestly, he would have made it out if he just walked away, I presume. I mean, I don't think Diana had her Q in time anyway, so yeah, a bit greedy there perhaps, but all in all, pretty good for UnImpactful gamers. Let's hang on.
Oh, but they don't expect anything. Nautilus does miss the hook, but he's trapped between a pillar and a wall. It's like being trapped between a rock and a hard place, and Ezreal taken off the map. And that's going to be a free Infernal.
Rock and ice. Like an ice and a hard place, more like.
An ice and a hard place? Ooh.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a cold joke, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, we're chilling.
Okay, okay. Now, okay. All right. Well, we've gone a bit too far now. I don't know. There was a line that we shouldn't have crossed very clearly, but I want to keep going and see how far we go.
We can keep going with these pillars, but I don't know if we should. But look, there's another fight coming in as we start talking less about puns, and Colate picking up Diana here, taking her out of the game, getting her off this fight. That's a big chunk of CC taken off the board. Ornn just can't get away. Dragonson picking up this kill, and now this red team is saying, we're going to keep fighting you. We want blood, and that's exactly what they're going to get. Everfrost goes down. Big ignite there. Lissandra's trying to walk out as best she can, but there's a Trundle again. There's the big pillar. That is an ice-cold move coming out from Trundle, but he is so big. Magnetic field does do work. The barrage is enough. This team doesn't care. Look, they're just going to run at this Ezreal.
Going.
Now they're going to flash the wall. No artillery's coming down, but they don't worry because they can just keep walking at this base, and they said, it's cool. We'll start grouping up as 5, and we're going to take what we can. And they come away with a lot.
And this is what happens when you draft 3 chonky boys. We have 3 people who could potentially aggro the tower while the rest of the damage dealers freely hit the enemy. And this is what this team comp is meant to do. Rely on the fact that these the enemy players will actually look to sort of bait themselves into the safety of their towers, but towers really aren't safe at this point in the game. Sanitary Metal does not take any damage from towers, especially with his grey health, and even if he does take damage, Dragonson can just come back in and say, yo, what's up? I'm Trundle, I'm tanky as well. Let me have my turn in tanking these towers. And you can see there that they were switching aggro, and they really did not care at the end of the day. And yeah, the Ezreal is taken down, even though he did Arcane Shift over the wall.
The best thing there, though, is this Trundle's 7, 1, and 6. He's got no tank items. He's got Merc Treads, and he can tank all this damage. What is this champion? Why am I not playing him in solo queue? That's
Oh,
right, I'm not a jungler, but still, why can't I take him mid? Because he is just showing what a good Trundle can do. And
you
that's
could
why we come
honestly,
for these.
you could honestly take him top. I mean, I used to play top Trundle a lot, and his level 1 power spike, I call it power spike, but it's just his level 1. His Q is so impactful and it did so much
They're going
to
for a Baron. They have a
okay, wow.
Trundle.
Yeah,
They
and
have a
Lissandra,
Cogmore.
Lissandra is on the bot side though, and they do have a Herald. Maybe they want to trade Baron for tier 2 power. I'm not sure if this is worth for... Okay, Trisha Prudge is going to miss, unfortunately. Yeah, I'm not too sure if this
It's
is
kind of
worth.
worth. Like, even if you're taking 2-3 towers, if that, right? That's still huge. Getting an early Baron at 20 minutes, that is a big chunk of enableability, especially we just saw this team tower dive for free. They just got Baron gold in their pocket, and now they're saying, hey, what else can we take? They're just giving everything up for free. And that's what we're keen to see. We don't see drag up for another minute and a half, but this is soul point for them. If they get this Infernal Soul, look at this Cogmore. Look at this Trundle. Look at this Silas. Even Silas, who hasn't even got the biggest KDA at the moment, he is still a force you have to worry about. If he takes the right ultimate into the right team fight, that is game over, my friend. And that's what I'm keen to see, Tate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is looking like a potential another win for UnImpactful Gamers, as their composition is just a lot better than Wyverns, if I may say so. They're just too tanky. I mean, Wyverns did try to make a composition for, you know, solid frontliners, and a Diana who could potentially use Moonfall to grab all these people in, but they're just too tanky. I mean, Diana Moonfall, what is Diana at this point in the game? To metal. And can she even do any damage to the top laner or the jungle? Because so far it's looking pretty unlikely that she'll be able to contribute in fights in terms of frontline, as mid push is happening.
And they are looking to take this tower again. This is what I was saying. They've shown that they can take these towers, so it really goes uncontested. Silas is even down here looking to use those super minions. Baron empowered, wants to get some damage off, but again, now they can just look to rotate down and they can just get towers for free. Lissandra's backing off the wave.
Yep, and yeah, Dragon's coming up, and I don't think they'll contest. They'll maybe look for an Ezreal ultimate for a potential miracle steal, but I'm sure that UnImpactful Gamers, they're very aware of an Ezreal ultimate potentially coming in, and in any case it's too fast, and they do grab the soul, which is huge, especially if...
Silas! He wants to go for it. He's getting all the damage off. Free kills. Use a beautiful tomb on Lissandra herself. And it's just unfortunate he can't really do too much off that. The second she's up, she's dead.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
But
isn't even able to use her own tomb to save herself.
so
Yeah.
what do you do on Blue Side's team at the moment? Like, what can you do into this comp, Tate?
You could order dinner, perhaps?
Looks like Tomkich does want to go back in, zoning off the wave. They are now inside the base, taking the bot in here, and now they're just going to be rotating straight up to look to go for potentially top in here. Is all they really need to do. They can just keep running away. There's the Forge Guard though. Blue team does want to take this. They get a good little knockup. There's the CC chain coming in, but red team is looking so fierce, keeping this Cogmore alive. Colate actually doing so much damage. His exhaust goes down. He's staying in the back line. He's healing up.
Still alive.
He gets the double kill. Ezreal's the last one, but they're tanking it out. Can they keep going? Team Liquid is the only one alive right now, and they want his head. This poor little Ezreal, the flash forward, but no medal, sadly doesn't get the hit, and they're just taking the base now. They say, look, we just out-tanked this fight, but what an exceptional fight coming over from the Wyverns, but it just wasn't enough. They're too far behind.
Yeah, and I see a well... Okay, bit of a Zonya's there. Ooh. But yeah, I'd say in any other universe where Wyverns weren't this far behind, that was an amazing wombo combo. Trying to take advantage of the fact that UnImpactful Gamers were inside their base and perhaps a little overextended, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, at this point, really, I've said this before in my previous casting, but this is just hitting them with their wallets. and I don't have my wallet
Yeah.
here right now, so I can't really slap it, but they're just slapping them with their wallets. I mean, it's absolutely insane.
It really is. And again, I have to ask that question. How can this blue team come into it? They just threw everything they had at that team comp. And the answer was they died. So what can they do?
I mean, I hear that Menulog is offering a pretty good deal, so
What is it?
maybe you should consider. I think they had a discount code for first-time users. I don't know if any of these
Oh,
players have
really?
ever used
Can we get
Menulog
referral
before.
codes?
Oh yeah, actually, I think with Menulog, I mean, I wouldn't trust Menulog too much. To
Oh,
be
but I'm
honest.
sorry, there is a big engage. I was just waiting time because I knew 404 Killer was about to get decimated, and he's taken off. He's literally just, where did he go? You snap of the fingers, and sadly the CC is a bit too much for it. Well, there's the flash forward. This Nocturne wants it. Big knockups coming in, gets the magnetic field, but sadly they can't really do too much. Red team wants to end this game. They're looking to go down. Forge God does get called out, but can he get anything off it? Gets a good redemption coming out. That's a cheeky little one, but look at the damage. Collate is in this backline, and he is humongous. Got that wit's end doing all the damage he wants to do. Collate just standing there, but they're just tanking this tower. They don't even care. Collate actually taking the base, and he says, hey, that's cool. I've still got red buff. I just want to charge at you. And he's just walking in, and there's the game, ladies and gentlemen. They end it swiftly and abruptly, and it's another big win going to UnImpactful gamers.
Yeah, and that was just quite one-sided at the end there. I'm gonna have to check the replay because I swear I saw Ezreal's True Shot Barrage just fly through the Trundle without doing any damage. I mean, the game was at that point where even if, hypothetically, they didn't have the Cogmore to back them up, I think they would have had enough damage. They would have had plenty of damage with the Trundle uh, and the Tom Kench by themselves. Obviously, Silas
Yeah.
and Ezreal, not Ezreal, Silas and Cogmore made that much more easier. But wow, what a game to watch!
It was absolutely fantastic, guys. Thank you for sticking around. We'll be back with game number 3, the final game of this evening, so stay tuned.